What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the channel with me, Clem Boogie. Week 13 of this NFL season. A lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of news, a lot of missing pieces, a lot of voids being filled. Deshaun Watson makes his debut. Aaron Rodgers refuses to sit down. And the Jets seemingly have found grace in a new quarterback. You know how I give it up on this channel. Full picks, one upset alert. Let's make some money, people. First game up are the Denver Broncos going at the Baltimore Ravens. Now, let's look at it. Let's put everything on the table. Everybody's regretting everything and anything that's going on in Denver right now. You have a quarterback that looks like he's just bringing in diminishing returns. He's not playing to the level and caliber for what they paid for. Mind you, they paid him $250 million. Crazy. But anyway, that team just seems to be decimated. They've had a fire sale. They traded away Bradley Chubb and other various pieces to bet. They waived a once promising running back in Melvin Gordon, and their receivers seem to be hurt, non-existing, sitting down, and ready for the offseason. But with all things being said, they are playing the most electrifying player in football right now. He is the ultimate weapon, the lethal weapon, and that is Lamar Jackson. Lamar has been tallied as one of the most talented, if not, gifted athletes, not quarterbacks, athletes to ever touch the pigskin. But with that being said, Baltimore is suffering from some injuries themselves on the offensive side. I don't think Mark Andrews is going to be suiting up for this game, but if he is, it's a plus. Also, Bateman, their wide receiver. I don't think he's going to be suiting up for the game, but they have other pieces. They have collaborated with Deshaun Jackson, who helps, uncover the deep coverage and helps that medium range of receivers to get some touches. But with all that being said, I look for the Ravens to cover easily, and I believe the number is at 9.5. Look for the Ravens to cover those points, 9.5, pretty easily, and that's my pick. Next game up is the Houston Texans versus the Cleveland Browns. Now, this game, I don't even think is going to be much of a game. I think it will be much more of a media circus than anything. You have Deshaun Watson, who's making his debut for the Cleveland Browns, even though I think he would have been better suited just to sit out the rest of the season and just do a solid to Jacoby Brissett and letting him finish out what he started. Jacoby Brissett played a solid season thus far, though it doesn't reflect on the record. He should just let him finish what he started. But with that being said, like I said, this game is going to be about Deshaun being back. He's, ironic enough, he's playing his former team, the Houston Texans, and it's just going to be a total fiasco. Just media frenzy galore, asking questions that are non-pertaining to football, pertaining to obvious things, which I don't care to discuss because that's been dealt with. He's been disciplined. Everybody else, has moved on since then. At least you would hope. But in any event, as it pertains to the game, I think the Houston Texans will cover the spread. I'm not saying that they're going to win, but they are getting 7.5 points. And I just think the overall frenzy, and not to mention, this is Deshaun's first game in, let's say, over 2 years, close to 2 years. You can't just get up off the couch or whatever it is he was doing and get acclimated into real-time football and think that's going to happen. No. Obviously, Cleveland Browns have the better players. They have the better system. And, they have better overall scheme. But it's not going to translate. Emotions will be running high. There'll be people in the stands hoping for the downfall of Deshaun Watson. But look, when the media is involved, they kind of spin circles, spin cycles. They do it all. So prepare for him to be the villain. Prepare for him to get a bunch of jeers, the boos, and everything of that nature. I believe the Texans will stay close enough. However, I don't have them winning this game, but they will stay close enough. And like I said, my pick will be the Texans getting 7.5 points. Next game up, we have the Chargers versus the Raiders. Now, the Raiders have seemed to gotten into some kind of groove, at least the last two games. The Chargers, it's anybody's guess who's going to be suiting up, who Justin Herbert is going to have available to throw to, and their defense seems to be a checkerboard at this point. But with that being said, both these teams previously played earlier this season, I believe on September 11th. Game didn't go so well for the Raiders, but look for a different outcome in this game. I look for the Raiders to spread the ball as they have all their weapons. Seemingly, Josh Jacobs has been, on a tear as far as running the ball, and Derek Carr is spreading the ball to his weapons. Like I said, he has Waller back in the fold, and he has one of the best, if not the best, Devontae Adams on the outside to throw to. Now, the question is, can they stop and contain Justin Herbert? Very talented, and he's going to be able to throw the ball pending he has his weapons at his disposal. But I don't see that happening. I think there's newfound energy when it comes to this Vegas team, and they will be pushing and applying a lot of pressure. And you'll see Derek Carr, who was formulated at one time of being in the MVP running, and, he might regain his stride and just throw and find ways and pillars and make plays for his team. So with that being said, I'm going with Vegas, and they're giving 2.5 points, and that's my pick. Next game up is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cincinnati Bengals. This game has been marked as the game of the week. Two quarterbacks, Burrow, Mahomes. Enough said. Very talented individuals, a lot of weapons at their disposal. Should be a lot of fireworks, a lot of bells and whistles going off on Sunday during this game. There's a multitude of ways you can bet this game. The obvious way is the over. No one's going to be playing any kind of defense. If they are, it's going to result in a quick score, either scoop and score or interception, pick six. But with that being said, both these young quarterbacks have a lot of weapons at their disposal. Let's start with Burrow. Burrow, he has, Chase, he has Boyd, he has T. Higgins, he also has Mixon coming out of the backfield. On the other side, Mahomes, you know who he's going to throw to. He has Travis Kelce. If not, and he's already willed it as the best tight end in football right now. Actually, I think he's been the best tight end the last 5 years. But, that's debatable. But with that being said, he has him. He has Juju Schuster. He has McCole Coleman. He has a whole host of other characters that he can throw the ball to. And their running game, though they don't have the customary bell cow, is running back by committee. So, you can expect them to, run the ball from time to time. But they have that trump card. Mahomes is pretty athletic enough to stay out of harm's way and use his legs to move. But with that being said, I look for this game to be all over the place, a lot of scoring, quick scoring, where the game goes over 52.5 points, I believe, is what it's marked up in some bookmakers. But we shall see. But if Jamar Chase, I think if he is one to be playing in the game, he will be a difference maker. You can mark him as the X factor for this game, simply because Kansas City has no one to match up with him. Frankly, Kansas City's secondary, they're much improved, but that receiving core that the Bengals possess, they can't really stick with them. The problem with the Bengals is that offensive line. They let their quarterback get hit way too much. And like I've always preached to you guys, when the quarterback is not upright, you're going to lose. No matter, I don't care how great you are. If your offensive line is not intact, you're going to lose. But this game, they've been playing much improved over the past couple of weeks. So I do see Cincinnati pulling it out if they can. They're also getting 2.5 points. But like I told you, if that's a big if Jamar Chase is to suit up, that will be the difference maker. And in that case, I would take the points that the Bengals are receiving, which is at 2.5, and, ride it to the bank. Other than that, the biggest and the sure shot is the over, and that is my pick. My upset alert comes by way of the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. Now, let's unpack this. The Packers have literally, figuratively, however you want to, name it, they've owned the Bears. I think somewhere upwards of 10 straight wins over these Chicago Bears. This year might be different simply because Aaron's hurt. He's not efficient. He's got an attitude problem. Green Bay doesn't want him there anymore. He's trying to hold serve because he sees Jordan Love in his rearview mirror, hot on his heels. It's just a recipe for disaster in that Green Bay franchise. But you know what? They have only themselves to blame for that. They did and continue to try to appease Aaron Rodgers in any way, shape, or form. Gave him a new contract extension. What are you going to do with that money? It's all dead money. Because if Aaron decides to leave or walk away, guess what? The money is guaranteed. So he still walks away with money. On the other side, Chicago Bears. I've said it week after week after week. They have a coach and an offensive system that is predicated around Justin Fields. He's finding his way as an NFL quarterback, and he has the ability to run. I think, if anything, they're tied for their first or second leading rusher of the team. So things are, the trajectory of what the expectations are for Justin Fields are trending in a positive direction. They, for the foreseeable future, will have to get him weapons, surround him with weapons that will make him look good. Right now, you have a nice car, nice body of car. Now you just got to buy the parts. And if you buy the parts to enhance that car, guess what? You never know what you might be driving in. And it possibly will be something that leads into the playoffs in a not so distant future. But let's get back to the Packers. Like I said, the Packers, everything is centered around number 12. His attitude problem, I think everybody is just tired of it. They're sick of it. I think his patience, he himself is just wearing thin. His body is not holding up. I think this is the first time in a long time we've seen his body just fail him. He has a broken, I think, finger or something like that. He's not getting very much protection from his offensive line. He doesn't have that much invested trust in his outside weapons. But he seemingly has found some solace with the new young kid that plays receiver for them. And he has Lazard, he has Tunyon, and other things of that nature. And he has Randall Cobb, which is old faithful for him. But I think it's going to be a transitional period in time where they have to start running the ball. Take the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hand and not let so much of the decision-making be on number 12. Why? Because you have horses in the backfield. You have Aaron Jones, and you have the other gentleman. I forget his name, but he's a bigger back. He likes to bang. They should utilize that as a thunder and lightning combination. Other than that, I have no idea what this game will turn out to be. Like I said, I don't know if I have that much invested trust in the Chicago Bears upsetting them. I'm only doing it because you can only beat up one team for so long. And like I said, I think it's upwards of 10 straight wins by the Packers over the Bears. This time around has to be something different. I mean, throw Chicago a bone. Not very much has gone well with Chicago the last 3 to 5 years. They can't draft. They can't do nothing much right. They have, however, gotten it right with Justin Fields. So it's a brighter future. My pick for this and what I'm aiming for is Chicago to upset the Green Bay Packers. I believe the number is at 4.5, but hey, anything is possible. I'm looking for the Bears to upset the Packers, and that's my pick. So now you have 4 picks, 1 upset alert. Please subscribe, share, comment, like. I'm not above criticism. I'm always here for your questions, and we could probably exchange information. I don't know everything. I'm not one of these content creators that's the end all be all. So you can always talk to me. You can reach out to me. However, we all want to get some kind of steam going. We want to make this money. And that's what I'm trying to put out to you guys. Notice, I'm not giving you a whole slew of games to look on, nor am I telling you to put this in a parlay system. Put it in individual bets. The more likely you do it in individual bets, you'll come out with some wins. If you're feeling lucky, that's on you. And you can put it in a parlay so you can see that compounded number, which everyone likes to see, that bottom line. But other than that, I'm not telling you to do all that. I want you to win, and I want us to win. So, continue this journey with me. And, the channel will be here. I will always be here. You can, tag me in. You can ask questions like I stated before. But, hey, I'm not above criticism. Just press that button and subscribe. I'm always here to hear your comments. Other than that, I'll see you next time. And it's me, Clem Boogie.